All right, YouTube, here we go. This is part 3. And I, again, thought I was going to do this in 3 parts, but it looks like it's going to be 4 parts. So in this one, I'm going to do the solder burns, get it fretted up, get the neck ready for some oil. And then we will really actually start on finishing up the box. So part 4, I do all the soldering, get the pieces fit in the box, and get it ready to go. So here's just like a quick sneak peek of the neck, and that's what we're gonna get it to. And then here is the box, and you can see there's still nothing on it. So when we start part 4, that's what we'll get to, is getting that done. All right, so enjoy.
Okay, I've been sanding on this neck. I got it down to, well, sanded at 150 right now. That's usually where I stop. Then what I do is I come through here and I'll mark it. I'm gonna put the solder burns on it, and then I'll sand it the rest of the way down, and then it'll be ready for frets. You can see the X's on there. All I do is take a straight edge and a pencil and, you know, put it at the corners or at the edges. Do a little X. X marks the spot. And then I just have this little soldering iron plugged in. So now it's just a matter of lining it up and letting it burn. Okay, here we go. So now I just gotta let that heat up a little more. I'm gonna do this side and finish sanding on this thing. Starting to look like something now. Didn't want to forget about this little guy. I always do half up the fretboard and then half onto the deck, so that if I have pieces that hang over, I can kind of do it like that, so you can still see it. Once it's oiled up, the marks will really stand out. So I'm gonna sand off or take a little eraser and erase my little pencil marks as best I can, and then start sanding. Be ready for frets here real soon. So now it's time to do a little fret work. So I usually use a 0 fret, so I put this jumbo fret on, and then I go with the medium. all you need is a little hammer with a nylon piece and some nippers. Also, this is a piece of the fretboard that I cut off. So I have this piece right here that comes over the box. And so just maybe I'm being overly cautious, but when I'm trying to pound the frets in, I put this in here to, you know, keep from possibly snapping that off. I know I'd have to be beating it really hard to do that, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Another thing that I've learned and other people have said, if you watch how-to videos on the internet, so this, you know, on this right-handed guitar, this is kind of the business end. This is where your fingers are going to be sliding. So you cut this piece off at an angle. Hopefully you can see that. And you always start on this side so you don't have that piece sticking out. And then once you cut that first angle, put this on here. Every time you cut it, it'll create that angle. But I always just start on this side. I kind of use my hammer to make sure it's not, you know, make sure it's straight flush with the edge. Pound it in there, cut it off. This is the 0 fret, so it takes a little muscle to cut. All right. Make sure it's in there. So see, I don't have a whole lot of work to do on this side, but I got work to do on this side. But, you know, that's just for that. So, here's a piece I have left over. It's already got the angle on it. But if I was starting a new one, like this one, just cut a little angle. And I would start it. There you go. All right, so I'm gonna speed this up, but there it is. That's fretting it, and then you got to come back and, you know, clean the edges up, put your bevel on there, dress them up, make sure they're level. So, all right. Okay, so the frets are on here. There's still a lot of work to get these level, get the ends all dressed up and the edges. You definitely need one of these, a fret rocker, to check level. At least I think you do. Hole's done. Fret's done. Dressed up, looking good. So I like to put the frets on, get them dressed up, cleaned up. I don't glue my frets in. I've heard of people gluing them in. I've seen it where people glue them in. Because I use walnut and maple and things like that, I don't particularly like to paint the neck. I just like to put a coat of oil. I usually put tung oil on it. So put tung oil on the fretboard. The oil kind of seeps down in the slot where the frets are anyway, and that kind of helps hold it in. Not that they're loose or anything anyway, but putting that oil in there tends to help hold it. So that's what I'm going to do with the neck. Obviously, I'm not going to bore you with that. All right, I keep saying I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to start working on a box, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to start working on a box, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to start working on a box. Well, I ain't got nothing left but to work on a box. This is, coats of oil, sand, let it dry, coats of oil, sand, let it dry, kind of thing, until I get it where I want it. So, in the meantime, I will start laying out the box. So that's what we'll do from here on out. But before I start putting oil on the neck, one of the things I need to do is I'm going to mark the location of my bridge now that I have the frets on there. So unlike a floating bridge where you use a homemade bridge, or you use a screw or something like that, you can twist this however you need it, pull it back to get your instrument properly intonated. On these hardtail bridges, you've got some adjustment, but you don't have that much adjustment. So you got to kind of be careful. Depends on the strings that you're putting on, but I try to set these up so that I got a little adjustment up and down. I take measurements carefully, and I'm measuring from the 0 fret, and I'm coming up with the location for my bridge. And so I will mark that out on the box, go ahead and screw or drill a hole in there. For the screw holes, I've got pieces on the other side of the neck to accept those, to accept the screws. So it's important to do that, and also to mark the location. The other thing that I've done as well is I've kind of scribed a line on this tape here where how far in the fretboard goes, so that so I know where to locate my pickup. And you also remember in my earlier video, I have these 2 lines here, which basically represents each side of the fretboard, so I can center up the pickup. So I've laid this out. I've took a couple of measurements. I went ahead and marked this out, but I wanted to kind of go over that real quick. It's a very important step. Very, very important that you go ahead and set your bridge up, kind of how you think it would be. And you notice on that other guitar I just had, the screw was kind of twisted, so it's going to be kind of the same thing. The fatter the string, it's going to be a little further back. The skinnier the string, it may be a little further up. So after I put the strings on there, I'll still make fine adjustments until I get it properly intonated. But there you go. All right, so I'm about to do that, and then once I get the pieces put in place for the box. We'll go through just soldering it up. This is just going to have a simple volume knob on it, and then I got to put the sound hole locations in there. All right. So just so you can see what I was talking about, so I put the holes in there for the bridge. You can see why I added these extra pieces onto the neck that's inside the box, because when you put those holes in there for that bridge, it's just a little bit wider than the back of the bridge. And putting those lines on there helped me find that center point, so they're lined up, so you know everything's in line.
All right, thanks for watching that one, part 3. The neck is drying up, getting ready to go in the box. So now all we have left to do is get all the components put on the box, get that sorted out, and tuners put on the neck, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. So that's what's going to be coming up in part 4. I really appreciate you watching this. Again, if you are watching this, please like and subscribe and share it with some folks that you think may enjoy watching something like this. And if you have anything you'd like to see in a future video, please leave a comment below. All right, thanks for watching.